Hello, everyone, and welcome to my new series, The Binding of Isaac University. I'm creating this series to give what can be best described as a formal education in the mechanics of The Binding of Isaac. While I was hoping that my episodes would be able to educate people who had played enough to grasp core concepts of the game, but had not yet mastered it, I quickly discovered that my episodes, while they contained a lot of information, were lacking an organized approach. Since my gameplay is focused more around why I'm doing, not what I'm doing, it seemed that giving people who wanted a deeper education of the game a conduit for that purpose would be more productive. This first lecture will be describing the most core concept of the Binding of Isaac, which is items. In the bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to have a fun little color, just a little dot, that's going to indicate the difficulty of what I think the current material that I'm discussing is. I'm going to give first a very basic level, and then slowly get more detailed from there. So now you can see that little dot is green, and I'm going to start at the most basic level, and that is there are two different types of items: passive items and activatables. These are the different items that you find on pedestal to pedestal, not just the items on the floor like hearts, bombs, and keys. When you pick up a passive item, as its name implies, it gives a passive effect, while activatable items take up the slot next to your tiers. These items require the use of your spacebar to activate. If you already have one, it will trade the item that you have for the one that's on the pedestal. Each use item has charge that it carries. It's denoted to the right of the item by 6 boxes that will light up as it gains charge. This charge is gained by completing rooms and varies in how much is gained per room based on the item. The more powerful the item is, the less charge you get per room. It is important to note that an item's charge stays with it if it is traded, and that any rooms completed after an item is fully charged don't give any extra benefit. Those are the main basics to know about items. The next topic that I'm going to go over is special items. This is a slightly more difficult concept, but it's one that can be very useful in making decisions about what items to pick up and what items to leave on their pedestals. Special items have come up in a few previous episodes, but I'll address their specific mechanics. There's a subset of items that are labeled as special. They don't correspond particularly with any specific item pool, and I'll get to item pools in a moment, so you just have to remember or look up which items are special. But generally the special items are considered to be good. When an item is pulled from a pool to be placed on a pedestal in a room, or out of a chest, or however you may acquire it, it is checked. If it is special, there is a chance that that item will be re-rolled before you even get to see it. That chance is the equation 1 minus 1 over 1.2 plus the number of special items that you currently have times 3. That equation is up on the screen, since reading it isn't always easy to decipher. Now, if you have 0 special items, absolutely none, the chance of re-rolling an item is 16%. So even with 0 special items, there's a 16% chance that you won't get it. And even once you've picked up one, that chance becomes 76%. It's an increase of 60% that that item will be re-rolled. And then on picking up a second item, if you manage to get one, it becomes 85%. All in all, the entire idea is that you won't get a lot of special items over the duration of a run. So let's get into one of the most complex mechanics in the Binding of Isaac, and that is item pools. And this is going to be a lot of information about item drops, so just be ready. Item pools determine what items are available where. When an item appears, it is chosen randomly from the pool that corresponds with its appearance. And there are actually 9 item pools. The first and largest by far is the treasure room pool. It controls what items are going to show up in the gold-doored treasure rooms. The boss room pool governs items dropped at the end of a boss fight. This does not include the end of boss fights in normal rooms on later floors. The secret room pool, shop pool, devil room pool, challenge room pool, angel room pool, and library pool govern the rooms that they are named after. And lastly, the golden chest pool governs items that may randomly spawn out of golden chests. It is also important to note that when reaching the level the chest, all items that spawn are from the item room. Seeing an item removes it from its associated pool. The exception is the angel room. Seeing an item in an angel room does not remove it from the angel room pool. However, no item that you have picked up will ever appear again. and this generally prevents multiple Angel Room pickups. Now each room has a finite number of items, so it is possible to deplete all of the items. When this happens, each pool will reach into another pool for items. Boss rooms reach into the secret room pool, and every other room reaches into the treasure room pool. This also means that if the secret room pool is depleted, as well as the boss room will reach into the treasure room pool. This leads to unique behaviors by the treasure room pool. Since it has no other pool to reach into, it instead waits until it reaches 5 items. At this point, it refreshes, refilling itself with all its items. However, you still will not see any items that you have already picked up. Very rarely do rooms deplete their pools, and usually only during game-breaking runs, which are runs in which the player manipulates the game without a cheat engine to get tons of items, will it happen. Hopefully I will eventually be able to showcase one of these runs, but they aren't that hard to find on YouTube. Now we're going to talk about breaking runs real briefly, so if you don't have any interest in breaking runs or don't think you're anywhere close to getting one, feel free to skip ahead a little bit. There's a very common trend of the game crashing during game-breaking runs. Very recently, the reason for this was discovered. It was not me who discovered it, though I don't know who exactly did. I was made aware of it, however, by Bisnap, whose channel I will link to in the description. The game would crash because of the treasure room pool being depleted. That sounds impossible because the pool refreshes, but the problem lies within the item spawning mechanics. When an item is spawned, otherwise known as you see it, it is normally removed from its item pool. However, if an item is pulled from the treasure room pool outside of the treasure room, otherwise known as its pool has been depleted, wherever you're spawning, boss room, secret room, or chest, it will not be removed from the treasure room pool. This means that picking up that item would prevent the game from ever spawning it for you again, but it would still be in the treasure room pool. So if you pick up 5 items spawned from the treasure room pool outside of the treasure room, you will have a treasure room pool with enough items in it that it will not refresh when it needs to. This leads to the game needing to spawn an item, but not having an item to actually spawn, and that is what leads to the crash. So if you reach the point where you start breaking the game, bear this in mind. So that's it for game breaking for now. Despite these 9 pools, there are still some other ways to get items. When paying money to the beggar, he has a chance to drop an item. If he does that, this item is either an HP up, an item from the shop pool, or an item from the treasure room pool. That item is treated as being pulled from that pool. Devil beggars can pull items from the same pools as normal beggars, as well as devil room and angel room items. Another fun fact about beggars, they can be spawned with the Judgment Tarot card. If spawned in this way, they will pull from the pool of the room they are spawned in, allowing a normal beggar to access angel and devil room items as well. Other set item drops belong to the blood donation machine, the shell game, the slot machine, and the fortune telling machine. These drops will be explained later in the more relevant videos. Now that was a lot of information, but that's the fundamentals of item pools. Item-specific behaviors will be discussed in the Binding of Isaac University videos for the item itself. That's all the information I'm willing to pack into a single video. It's already been really dense, but now that you know this information, I can create videos for each item that I find in my runs so that I can link to my own videos, which YouTube does allow, to give people more information that they can easily access. I will also make more videos about other mechanics in the future, but since these videos aren't just game footage, they do take a little bit longer to complete. If you'd like to learn more, please like, favorite, and subscribe to my channel, and feel free to comment below on anything you found enlightening in this video, or something that I could clarify for you. I'll see you guys next time.